China can't make good peripherals. Or can they? Mice have been able to cut 30 to 40% of the materials off for weight reduction. Keyboards have gotten smaller and smaller. And mouse pads? There's still mouse pads, I don't fucking know. So it's safe to assume these products have gotten cheaper then, right? 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 If you were to only take the recommendation of your favorite streamer, or the recommendation of your favorite pro, you would think that you would need to spend hundreds of dollars to be able to afford a setup with modern peripherals. But that just isn't the case. In fact, I was running into the same issue. My setup for the longest time was products that was recommended to me by teammates, pros, and streamers, like the G Pro mouse. So during the start of 2026, I decided it was time to get some products that I actually liked. But, little known fact about me, I am cheap. I am super stubborn when it comes to paying for products that I don't think are worth the price, and I'm not falling for that American propaganda that Chinese products are cheap and bad. So, I decided to take a risk and try products from brands I've never heard of. My first order of business was getting a new mouse. Quite frankly, coming from a CS background, everyone's going to tell you to get a Logitech mouse, a Razer mouse, or a Zowie/Vaxi mouse. But I've tried the Superlight, I've tried the EC2B, I've tried the Vaxi XE, but none of these mice have felt like the perfect mouse for me. But these mice weren't exactly cheap to get, so what am I meant to do? Originally I thought, lighter mouse, better aim, right? So after some careful research, I came across the Attack Shark R5 on AliExpress. An 8K pulling rate mouse weighing only at 39 grams. For 55 bucks? That's a suspiciously hard deal to beat. But you click the video, you know it was good.
Oh my god, I am a fucking mega here.
Unlike the G Pro, the paint on this mouse feels more matte, if that makes sense, allowing you to have a better grip, especially if you have sweaty hands. The mouse overall is quite small, and quite frankly, as someone who doesn't have the smallest of hands, some parts of the mouse were a little too rigid when I had to grip it. This made the mouse much harder to use on a game like Valorant or CS, where you have to grip much harder to have precise flicks. Though the mouse was pretty fun for games like Overwatch and the finals, but if one mouse from China was that good, could there be others? What about a Razer mouse? I've never tried a Razer mouse, and for those prices, I'm definitely not going to. Unless... yeah, I bought a bunch of shit. I bought a Razer dupe, the Attack Shark X11, speed skates recommended from Viscose, you should definitely check her out if you haven't already, and a mouse pad from Meow Gaming. I don't know, the review said it would be good though. And this is when it began. I began Chinamaxxing. I began Chinamaxxing all of my peripherals. And you know what? I felt it. I felt China in my arm, guiding my aim. As the ancient proverb goes, a journey of 1,000 kills begins with a single flick. After using these products for a little over a month, I began to wonder, why did I ever waste my time with name brand products? Both the Attack Shark R5 and X11 had a coating on it that made it feel more matte than the Logitech and Zowie mice I've used, while making it feel easier to grab. In addition, both mice had copied shapes of already popular mice, so they were going to be comfortable to grab. Minus the R5 being slightly pointy where mouse 2 meets the side, but I believe that's mostly because of my grip style. The online software for these mice are serviceable, not really anything to write home about, but I can confidently say that the stock skates on these mice are some of the worst skates I've ever used. At least on the pads I own. The R5 specifically felt like it was dragging and scraping my mouse pad, but this was easily fixed by picking up some Meow Gaming Ultra Slide skates. These skates run about $11 with shipping for a pack of 80, and I have zero complaints about them, 10 out of 10 skates. And since my shithead cat likes to use my old mouse pad as a litter mat, I got a Meow Gaming MGG Ultra Neon. If you haven't seen the video by Pingu, then please go watch it since I agree with a lot of her points, but in short, the pad is an amazing cloth pad. It's a tad thick for a speed pad, but I personally don't mind it that much and found the thickness to be fine for my purposes. Although it is worth noting that this pad is slightly less of a budget set of gear compared to the rest of the things on this list, but I bought it and I think it's well worth the money. But something is missing. My right hand has never felt more Chinese, but my left hand, it feels empty, and I couldn't put my finger on it. Everyone knows that Wooting is on top of the keyboard game. It's no surprise. Everyone and their grandma owns one and speaks highly about how they can't go back once they get one. But for $200, the 80HE felt like way too much for me. So I went searching and I found the MCHO's Mix 87. A Hall effect keyboard with rapid trigger, an 8K polling rate, and custom actuation distances. All features that are key to a Wooting, but at less than half the price, even after shipping. And after using it for 2+ months, I can confidently say it's the best keyboard I've ever used. It's smooth, bottoming out the buttons feels great, and the software is pretty straightforward for a noob to follow. While I'm no tech expert, and most certainly not a professional reviewer, I think as someone who's a lot of hours in a lot of games, I think it's time we give these budget brands a chance. In an age where everything is so expensive and you need to stretch your dollar as far as you can, I think gear like this shouldn't be slept on. And as always, thank you for watching.